American hemp must meet the needs of our Army and Navy as well as of our industries.
Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell.
I think, we've been terribly and systematically misled in this country for some time, and I did part of that misleading. I think it's irresponsible of the medical community not to offer this as an alternative.
Thank you, everybody. God bless you. I'm now going to sign this farm bill.
Oh, Most High Jah, it's glorious day, but we have to give thanks. We have to give thanks. Oh yes, oh yes.
On that day, in November 2012, voters sent a strong message in those two states that cannabis is no longer something that people should ever be put behind bars for.
These are historical moments. What's happening now is going to be looked back on when this is an $80 billion industry 10, 12 years from now. People are going to look back and they're going to say, who was there at the very beginning? What was happening? What was it like to be there?
There's a moment in history when you get to be a part of something before it blows up, and it may be early, but we would never have forgiven ourselves if we hadn't jumped in.
Now is the time in which we see decades of work, decades of sacrifice coming to fruition. This industry is already the fastest growing industry in America. It's soon going to be the fastest growing industry in the world.
When I first got involved in this issue, people told me it was hopeless, that there was no way cannabis would ever be legal. And then, almost overnight, the story changed. Well, it wasn't hopeless then, and it's not inevitable now. We have a lot of work to do. Our work has just begun.
Whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. Yeah, my monopoly to the world, you know. Only money will I still see.
Every day, 22 veterans die by suicide. That is one life lost every 65 minutes, or over 8,000 lost a year. 22 is not just a number. It is our neighbors, our friends, and our family. My name is Scott Murphy, and I'm a veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom. The experience of war unites service members eternally. Those we bond closest with, our battle buddies, become our family. For me, Stephen Schaefer was one of those people. I first met Stephen in Iraq shortly after his 18th birthday. Over time, I learned the true depth and compassion of his character. His outgoing personality lightened the mood of any situation. But like many returning veterans, Stephen struggled internally. At 22, shortly after returning from his second deployment, Stephen died by suicide. In memory of Stephen and the 22 daily suicides, I founded Veterans for Safe Access and Compassionate Care, better known as VSAC. We are a nonprofit whose directive is to promote research, education, and awareness around veterans' health and wellness issues. As service members, we made the commitment to never leave a fallen comrade behind. This commitment holds true before, during, and after we return home, and is at the core of our belief system. Currently, due to federal interference, intrusion, and intimidation, quality healthcare for our battle buddies is determined by the state they reside in, not the country they fought for. For many, this is the difference between life or death, recovery or relapse. With 22 daily suicides, it is time to check politics at the door. This Veterans Day, after thanking a veteran for their service, contact federal, state, and local leaders and demand that we utilize all options to combat veteran suicide.
Hey everybody, it's Chris from Prepared Mind 101. I came out here today to test a few things, and one of those things is a new water filter that I got. And this one I would call this a super filter. It's not a cheap $20 Sawyer Mini. This is one of those filters that's going to do just about as much as you can expect the filter to do. And it's the Puritii RX. Now, I'm going to put a lot of information in the description box below, so make sure you check it out. I'm not going to go over all of it right here because apparently I left my spec sheet at home. So I'm going to do part of this video out here, and I'm going to do all the stats and stuff like that once I get back home. But I wanted to come out here where I know the water is not safe to drink, because I just see geese and freaking there's all sorts of crap out here. Water's definitely not pristine. I mean, this is basically a huge wildlife watering hole. But what I like about this is it filters damn near about everything, down to viruses at 99.99%. That's a good filter. That's a filter that you can feel good about in a real emergency. And it does a lot of the chemicals and stuff like that, which I'll get into here at the end of the video. But what's nice about this, I like how it's got this enclosure over the top of the lid to cover up your drinking spout or your bite valve or whatnot. So you open it up, there's the filter unit. So all you're going to do, hand this down here, get that nice water in there. You always want to be careful to make sure that you're not getting contaminated water on your bite valve. But there you go, that's all that is. Come back up. And you can safely drink this water just like that. Flow rate on it's pretty good. And I can say the water tastes excellent. I'd say this tastes just as good as the water that I get out of my homemade Berkey Light system, which that's pretty much all I drink at home is a filtered Berkey water. Put it in Nalgene bottles and steel water bottles and throw them in the fridge, and that's what I drink from. But this tastes just as good as that water, and that's saying a lot because that's some damn good tasting water. So my big problem with most filters has been there's always something lacking in them. They do all this stuff, but they don't do viruses. They do all this stuff, but they don't do chemicals. This thing does just about everything you could expect it to do. And according to the literature, this has even been tested by, I think, SEAL Team 5, one of those SEAL teams. But you just need to get water quick, make it drinkable. There you go. When it comes to filtering, normally speaking, normally viruses are not a big issue in Northern America or North America. So you don't have to worry so much about that. But just to be on the safe side, I typically would want to, especially if it was a survival situation, I would want to boil my water anyway, just to be safe. And then use my filter to take all the nasty stuff out and make it more drinkable, taste better. With this, I feel confident I don't need to go boiling it or anything like that, even though there's freaking ducks swimming over there. Ducks probably, you know, taking a dump right now, coming right down toward me where I'm drinking the water. But you know what, duck? I don't care, because I got like a pimped out water filter here, so have at it. So there it goes. I do like the big, it's a tiny thing, but I like this big ring thing that they've got on it. So it's easily clips onto a carabiner. Just carry it on your belt. It's always there. So as long as you can get to water, you can have drinking water. Simple but effective. Now, what's the downside? You're sitting here saying, okay, we've been through this before in the lightning strike video. What's the catch? They're not cheap. It's one of those things where if you want the best, if you want something that is going to take everything that you need to worry about out, it's going to cost a little bit more. I got all that stuff on the spec sheet and things like that. So let me pack up here. I'll get back home, tell you everything that this thing takes out, and hit you with the damage. So there's that duck that was just trying to use my drinking water as a toilet. I ain't sweating it though.